go to sleep, I go far away. If you forgot your dreams, just remember to love. It's important to remember your dreams.
It was all a dream.
And I woke up.
Yo, what up, AquaStoneThrone? Shout out to Wax Records. We got just saw me. We got 3 records out of the dollar bin. I normally take like 1 minute to pick records. We'll see what magic comes about this. AquaStoneThrone, like, share, and subscribe, guys. We back. Yo, I gotta be honest with you. This is the second time where I'm recording this video. I already recorded the samples and I actually already made the beats, and the last thing I wanted to do out of this project was then edit the video. And when I got the footage, it turned out that I'm using my Canon with my Rode mic, and you won't believe it, man. The Rode mic ran out of batteries, and all my old footage, which I already recorded all the samples in all honesty, none of that footage is good for a video. So I'm gonna try to just make another video real quick to show you guys exactly what I did within my process. So as you know, I went to the amazing store, Wax. You guys saw my terrible my terrible iPhone footage. For some reason, I thought brand new iPhone footage is like the most amazing. I don't have a brand new iPhone, but then it turns out the person that actually took the video had their phone set up for the lowest resolution. So that's why you see this video the way it is for that first part. So I do apologize for that. Yo, but guys, like I said, we got the first one. We got The Temptations. I sampled a little something from this. In all honesty, I thought it was absolute trash. But one of the tracks that I made is like 100 BPMs, and I might have got the sample from this or this. Now, this turned out being the main thing that I sampled. I only sampled 3, if I'm not mistaken, 3 full songs out of all 3 of these. And I think 2 full songs were off of this guy. So this was the live version of Jermaine Jackson's Feel the Fire, which, in all honesty, when I first recorded all of these in, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna make the worst beat ever because all these samples are terrible. But I was able to do my damn thing. And lastly, we got Melanie from Buddha Records, right? Now this Buddha Records, guys, whenever you find a Buddha Records sample, grab it. Buddha Records is probably one of the illest record labels ever. I've sampled like maybe 10 different artists off of this particular label, and all of them all had some good material, real funky stuff. So this was Melanie, Garden in the City. And this turned out being pretty like Kumbaya, but what I ended up doing was giving it a little more of an Indian flavor when I slowed down the sample, and it actually turned out to be an Indian vibe. So I actually plan on getting that particular track over to a sitar player that I know that is really, really nice, that went over to India to learn how to play the sitar from like some guru master, probably Dalsim or something like that. But check that out. That should be coming along the way when I finally do release these tracks. Now you might hear them before I actually release them on any streaming services. So just you know, show some love and support. But like I said, guys, these are the 3 different albums, and we're gonna do some sample. Whoa, yeah, you are. Alright guys, so off this Jermaine album, I sampled in the 2nd and the 3rd track, Happiness Is, and Some Kind of Woman. On both of these, I got the pitch all the way down on 33.3, and I got the tone all the way up. So it's slowed down, but there still is high ends and high end frequencies to it. I'm just drinking a little coffee as well.
You ask me why it is I love you.
Yeah! Woo woo! Oh Lord! And then I sampled these keys at the beginning of the third track.
Give that to me, yeah. Yes, you did, baby. You carry on to you, girl. No telling what I can anywhere.
So one thing I also normally do is I literally just let this record, and the way I record is the way I sample is I actually create full loops in Pro Tools, and then I'll export them to Reason and work my magic, or I'll just chop up things crazy random, like insanely random, and then I'll just throw them on my keyboard, and I'll just trigger something else completely different and completely original with all the different chops that I just randomly chop. So it could be anything from like keys, background noise, like a guitar slide, a couple chord progressions, and then I'll just take that, like let's just say I got like little keys that are like ding ding ding, you know, I'll take that ding 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 and I'll rechop that, assign them to the keyboard, and then when I make my drum patterns, then I'll just you know, try to come up with a nice little melody with all the previous chops that I've done. So like I said, guys, I got the pitch on all this, on basically all of these records is the pitch is all the way down and the tone is actually all the way up, and I'm recording off a Handy Tracks Vestax. And this is actually normally how I record all of my samples directly into my my Focusrite Scarlett, which everyone in the world has. It's a very simple little interface which works with my Pro Tools. So I took those keys and I think I did use them. And I think I sampled this beat as well. I did. I got to get you, girl. Yeah, and that little particular part actually right there. I used that one bar right there, and then at the very end, yeah. And then I use this. So I use that one. Not a bad record, actually. You know, it's normally hit or miss when it comes to the live stuff, because a lot of the live stuff is absolutely horrible. But sometimes the musicians that actually get to travel with these legendary artists are so amazing. So you'll catch the most insane stuff with some of these particular live albums. So for example, when I saw the Blueprint 2 made by Just Blaze, a lot of that, I think 2 tracks on that particular album are live versions of classic albums. And the loops that Just found would never be on the normal original pieces of work which were made in $1 million studios. So there's good and bad to live albums. All right, guys, next up we got The Temptations, Power, 1980. The 80s for me are literally the worst time in music ever. It's a time when everything had the same 1 or 2 drum sounds, because this is when like digital drum machines were first like being made for the public, where everyone could actually afford something, not like a Moog in like the 60s or 70s where you had to have mad money. And these new drum machines, everybody in the world had, and also in the 80s was just coming out of the 70s where things were a lot funky, and 80s still had a very fast tempo of music, anywhere from like 100 to 140, which is not really hip hop at all. And so that's really why you also don't hear a lot of 80s records in hip hop being sampled. But it's also just terrible music. In all honesty, it's the beginning of synths, so it's not the best sounds, and it's just a little crazy in my opinion. The worst era of music ever. But I was born in 1980, and this album is actually from 1980. I didn't find much, but I just did some needle drops. When you speed everything up, you get that chipmunk feel. And I've made a couple chipmunk beats when I first started making beats, like almost 20 years ago. And now that I'm an older beat maker and I guess a little bit more professional, I think the squirrel sound, the chipmunk sound is just it's hideous. It's disgusting. And also when you speed up records to such a high octave, everything is extremely thin. And you'll notice with my particular production, I go above and beyond with my drums and just my layering to actually give a feelness and a vibe. And sometimes I layer particular sounds in my beats that you can't even, that the normal person will never ever be able to hear. It's like literally like little tiny sounds that you don't even hear, but your subconscious mind picks it up, and it actually gives more of an overall fullness to the production rather than it being a particular sound playing a particular part of an overall soundscape. I guess it's just kind of how my tone and my hearing works, because I've never really known anyone that does that. And a little fun fact about 808s. Now you hear 808s being an aggressively part of music. The way I use my 808s and the way 808s were originally designed for music production was to give more of a low-end vibrational feel and not to be an overpowering like sound that you hear in all trap today, because in all honesty, the 808 is a very low vibrational sound and it plays more to your lower self rather than your higher self. So whenever I use 808s, you'll never hear 808s being out of control in my production. I use 808s to layer kicks when I have to, but most of my 808s more or less just give an undertone, like a floor. It gives it a bass floor rather than it being like a dum dum dum. Like that's not the way I use my 808s, and I don't think it's the way 808s are meant to be used. So, but I more or less just needle dropped on this particular album. In all honesty, I love the artwork. I think it's genius for those that know. But this album, I don't really, the Temptations are absolute legends. I love and appreciate y'all. This album was not the ticket. All right, guys, last up we got Melanie from Buddha Records. This was kind of on some kumbaya. You even see her with the acoustic guitar, and that's exactly what it was. A very cool, relaxing kumbaya type album. If you ever come across this label, pick up the record because you're gonna find heat, absolute heat. Buddha Records was an ill, I think probably flower power, like back in the 60s. They were just really dope, and a lot of their artists were pretty cool. I think I got like maybe 5 or 6 different songs that actually are samples from people from the Buddha Records camp. Real super cool record label back in the day. I'm pretty sure that they were really big stoners and all about peace and love. So once again, I still got the pitch and the tone. I got the pitch all the way down, I got the tone all the way up, and it's on 33.3. All right, so I've recorded one particular track from this album, and then I also went around and let the needle drop. So this is the actual song that I sampled, and it's called Jigsaw Puzzle. It's 3 minutes and 19 seconds off of Melanie's Garden in the City. So I sampled this little part right here. Alright guys, so like I said, I only got one particular track off of Melanie's. I recorded all the samples in, and now I'm about to show you guys what I actually did in my Pro Tools session. So guys, as you can see, for this particular track, I'll show you all of the individual sounds that I bounced over to Reason. And this is all of them. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. We got 15 different sounds right here, 15 different 1-bar loops. So all of these I previously chopped into a lot of pieces to make sure that all of them are the same exact swing and pattern, meaning that if the drummer was off, and let's just say, for example, check it out. You see there's a snare here and a snare here. Now I made this perfect to where the snare lines up on a perfect grid. Now there's a possibility that if I did not do that, the snare would be over, like let's just say this little line right here is the grid, right? And then let's just say for whatever reason, if I didn't time stretch it, then the snare would automatically be over here. And if I go to lay a snare, there's going to be, it's going to be off. There's going to be some type of phasing. Now the phasing could be even only milliseconds, but if you have something that's going for 3 minutes straight, that milliseconds can really screw up your beat and have it off swing, off beat, and just not sounding right. So that's just a little secret, guys, you know. So I got all these different sounds. And this was the little start that I came up with for this particular beat. And then the beat drops. So that's one particular beat that I made, right? And this is oh yeah, so you can see what I did right here, how I chopped it up. This is what I did before I time stretched it. And I just found a couple different variations in the same record. I think I actually used this as the little phase out at the end of the beat, if I'm not mistaken, I forget. So this is another, so basically I just highlighted this, bounced it just like that with the blank spaces in the middle. And then I put them in the recycle, got rid of the blank spaces. And then once I got it over to Reason, I was able to put each one of these little things on my keyboard and then recreate the second part of my first beat. So that's what I did with this particular stuff. And I did this again one more time. I got all these guys, which I thought were pretty cool, but I didn't really do anything with. And then I just chopped them up a million different times. And once this is over some drums, I might recreate something magical, or it might be terrible. You know, it varies. It's really a hit or miss when it comes to something like that. I found this particular loop. I haven't made a beat for this loop yet, but I will. Trust me, I will. So this is one also from this is from the Jermaine Jackson. And I already showed you guys that I recorded this in. And at the very, very end of this record, because this record is an interesting record. It started off at like maybe 60. The tempo started off at 60, and then at the very end of the record, it goes up to like 100. So at the very end of the record, I found this. No, I found this. And you know, that's it's cool. I mean, it sounds cool. It's nice. Not crazy, but I actually kind of liked it. And there was a couple tiny little drops in this as well. Little tiny half bar drops and full bar drops that just gave a little variation between this little 2-bar loop. This is a great little groovy little 2-bar loop. So I sampled this guy in, and later in this record, this little part came about. So you could tell that these right here were already made perfect. I got the start. I already named each of these. So I got these are the two main parts of this sample. Alright guys, so I took all of these tiny little chops that I'm showing you that I made perfect and all the other things, and then I bounced them. Alright guys, so we're back. This is my Reason session for my first beat. So as you could see, I got a lot going on. All of these N19s are actually each individual chop of the sample that I made. And all the other redrums are extra sounds, and all these other things are extra sounds as well. I got like I don't know, a lot of sounds in this. I put in a good amount of work into this, I'm not gonna lie. So I did all of these beats. I did, I think 4 beats in 4 days. So I was very, very inspired, because I really want to make a dope video, in all honesty. All right guys, this is the first beat, check it out. bass on this yet. The beat changes up a little bit. This I triggered this. Listen to this drop. Alright guys, so we're back. This is my second beat. Please keep in mind none of these beats have any basses on them. I actually get all of my basses laid down by a dear friend of mine who is also one of jazz's best bassists in the planet. All he does is travel around the world, work with all of the best musicians, and I think he got 1 or 2 Grammys as well. So just please keep that in mind. This is the second beat. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Exclusive. You know, I love that little exclusive sample, you know? Exclusive. I'm running. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, just feel good vlog music. I don't know. It's not really like a hip hop beat, but it feels kind of good. It's all right. Okay, guys, so I got one more beat for you guys. This is the Melanie track. I'll let you guys listen to the sample. It's real bare bones right now. I need to send this over to my sitar player because I have a vision for this. It's pretty cool, but it's not done yet. But basically I got the loop, and then I added some like tribal sounds, but it's still very bare bones yet. It's not gonna be a full-blown track until I get my sitar player friend to really bring it to life, because it's a very stiff loop right now. But once he comes through with the sitar and gives it a little melody, I told him that I either want an 8 or 16 bar melody. I think that this is gonna be pretty dope. Whoa! No sample. Only the sample. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I might, holy shit. Did you guys see this thing fall? Yo, guys, but that's it. I hope you guys really enjoyed the little video. Like I said previously, this is literally the second time that I'm recording this, because the first time I actually recorded everything in, for whatever reason, my mic had a problem, so I apologize for that. But I just want to show you guys a little bit about how I create, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Love you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. AquaStoneThrone on all major platforms. And rock out with your boy, you know what I mean? I hope you guys love my music. I love music. I think music is God's language, you know? And I think I'm pretty fluent in it. So I hope you guys get a chance to listen to some of my tunes. And I hope some of my tunes bring your soul massive amounts of joy and light and inspiration for you to be the best version you can be. I love you guys. AquaStoneThrone.